The Foolio verdict. So, all four, this trial has been going on for about the last 2 weeks now. The verdict was read last week, and then now finally this week, almost the whole week, was the sentencing phase. I haven't been following it. I've been tapping in here and there to see how this was going to play out. And yesterday, the verdict was actually read that all four individuals, Isaiah Chance, Sean Gaffright, Davion Murphy, and Rashad Murphy, the two cousins on the case, they're all sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The way Florida get down, if you get life in prison without the possibility of parole, it means just that. You will be in that cell until one day you are deceased and they take you out of that cell in a body bag. Fulio was killed back in June 2024. He was down partying in Tampa, had the Airbnb that got shut down. He went to like another venue, ended up outside of this hotel where this play all came together, where the four individuals, along with Isaiah Chance's girlfriend, hunted him down and assassinated Julio Fulio.
I think Sean Gathright, that's his name, right?
Yes, sir. The
I
light skin.
believe, yeah, the light skinned guy. I think he was just a goofball. I think he was a complete follower. He comes from a pretty decent family, from what I've heard, and he traveled more than your average person at an early age, which I don't think that someone that was given those circumstances and grew up that way should even put himself in this type of predicament. He should even be around that crowd, because he didn't come from what Fulio and Young and Ace and all those guys have come from. Um, you can see in the court trial that he seems very remorseful. He was crying.
After the
Just
verdict was read, though, I mean, he wasn't remorseful. That was one thing that they honed in on, during the sentencing phase. Now you're remorseful. Now you're taking accountability for your actions.
which is something, man. I just feel like he could have just avoided all of it. I don't know too much about the female. I don't know. I actually don't know really anything about what she's been going through.
Alicia Andrews was convicted on the lesser charge that they were going for. I believe it was like a manslaughter they got her with, but the main charge that they were trying to hit her with on this case, it actually fell through. The judge was removed after the ruling, and that's not something that's common. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Some people are saying that they may not even go through with a retrial for her, that she may just walk free with time served on that other lesser charge.
It's not going to be good for her either way. If she get convicted, then she get convicted. If she don't, then I think that there's going to be someone that gets her. For me, anyone that do any of those crimes, I think they deserve the time, man. I don't think she should be walking free though. But if she do, yeah, it's gonna be, Jacksonville is pretty big. I think they gonna get her for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to last week. First off, where the actual verdict was read, I was seeing posted all over social media. Shocking verdict in the Julio Fulio trial is in. Shocking verdict. They're all guilty, and I'm just like, from the evidence, everything that has been coming out in this trial, that was not a shocking verdict at all. That was not a
Mm,
shocking verdict that they were found guilty. Were you
mm.
were you shocked? I mean, that they were found guilty?
Nah, they're on camera. Mm-mm.
Everything that they could have done to get caught, they did it basically. Even the interrogation room. Once they were caught, they basically just knew it was over at that point. You see Sean
Yeah.
Gaffright cutting off his ankle monitor. You see the other guy throwing up gang signs and just he and there reenacting how the shooting went down. But yeah, it wasn't shocking to me that they were found guilty. If anything, I would say it would have been shocking if any of them were found not guilty on this case. So the state had them dead to right almost. Let's move
Mm.
forward to the sentencing phase. After watching the clip where the after watching the clip where the death penalty advocate, or whoever for the state of Florida that was advocating for the death penalty in this case, I thought he went in. Like, I mean, dude did his job to the utmost. I was expecting two or three of them to get the death penalty in this case, thinking that they could lean in Isaiah Chance's favor because he actually wasn't a shooter. But I feel like They took into consideration Sean Gaffright being 18 years old when this crime happened, and then also Isaiah Chance not being a shooter. They all played a role in what conspired to come together in the downfall of Julio Foolio. So I feel like they didn't want to come across as like an impartial jury, even though they were told to judge each individual as an individual. The case was tried together. All four of them sitting there. So they're looking at them day after day. And I feel like the jury made that decision to give them all life in prison without the possibility of parole because they didn't want to give two of them the death penalty and not give it to the other two, or give three of them the death penalty and not give it to that fourth individual that was involved. But I really thought that this case right here, of any cases, it was a high profile case. After hearing from the state the way they argued and advocated for the death penalty in this case, I was thinking that that may have been a layup for the jury, that they were going to lean in that direction, but they didn't.
There was no need for a jury because I mean it was too much evidence. Too much evidence. Like they caught themselves, bro. So there was really nothing that a jury could do that would be different than what the judge will rule.